You have joined us at the ESO Fam, bringing the Elder Scrolls Magic to life, and thank you all for coming along.
Woo!
Thank you.
Thank you.
But we're buzzing, we're hyped, we love this. 3 years of being waiting for this sort of thing. We wanted to do this back in 2020. We're all here now, so that's great. How are we finding PAX so far? Feels good to get out. It's fantastic. So, I want to go through introductions of our wonderful people. If you don't know these wonderful people and you'd like to get their social handles, take a photo now. They're all up there. If you don't follow some of us already, grab those. But I am Daku. I stream on Daku TV on Twitch. Recently down to just once a week, my Sunday nights now. We'll talk about that later. Yeah, my primary purpose for being here, being part of the ESO Fam and my streaming is based around charity, which is another thing we're going to cover around some of the successes of the ESO Fam and what they've done over the last few years around charity. But first up, I'm going to pass over to Ms. Radcliffe to introduce herself.
Hi. Hello, Patchy. Hi, I'm Miss Radcor. If you prefer, you're welcome to call me Kristen. And yeah, I stream on twitch.tv/Ms. Radcor 4 days a week. I basically do whatever I want. It just depends on how I'm feeling on the day. Yeah, a lot of Elder Scrolls Online and a lot of conversation. If you like talking, hopefully you'll enjoy my channel.
If you don't like talking, why did you come to a panel?
Pretty much. Maplin, just go down the line. Maplinator.
Yeah, I'm Maplinator, or Map, or Michael. I also stream Elder Scrolls Online on Twitch, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Sundays-ish. Backing off on the schedule a little bit, which we'll cover later. Yeah, I guess similar to Rad, we do, like my streams are very much about community, just hanging out and chatting. Obviously we play games at the same time.
G'day, my name's Angry.
No one cheered for me.
I'm up here, it'd be weird.
Also a streamer. I try to stream as much as I can. Obviously, with a full-time job, it's a bit hard. You can call me Bianca as well. Stream a lot of Elder Scrolls and competitive esports as well. I play for a women's team in the what is it?
That really cool thing.
Yeah, Rainbow Six Siege pretty much. Yeah. So I've met a lot of good people.
That's why you forgot it.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Icy. I am another ASO streamer. You can find me at twitch.tv/ICYIC, and I stream 4 days a week as well. And thank you all for coming. Lovely to have you.
Great, now you look like the nice one. Damn it.
My name is Kim. I'm a community manager at Bethesda, Australia, New Zealand, and Southeast Asia. And I'm on the panel today because I get to work with these lovely people and I get to meet the community. So, thank you.
And we kind of guilt tripped her into it too.
We did. There was a lot of guilt.
You wouldn't happen to be busy at PAX, would you? Yes, I'm very. You're coming to the panel.
Thank you.
All right. Well, let's get started. That's the intro. Thank you very much, guys. As we talk and go along, I've got some tweets that came out from the ESO Fam. We had a little competition, which I still have to get around to picking a winner on. That was meant to be drawn yesterday. We asked people to describe what the ESO Fam and the Elder Scrolls has done for them to change their lives for the better. So, it made me angry, so we just want to make sure it's good. So we've grabbed all the good ones, which was 100%. Lovely people. And they'll be just up there, flicking through slowly, and hopefully you get to see all of those. But what is ESO Fam? ESO Fam is, by definition, the Elder Scrolls Online family. It was a term that was coined, we believe it was Bearded Chegg, right, Icy? Bearded Chegg was the one whose community originally came up with it. He stepped away from streaming, took a break, and gave the emoji that they made for it to Ninja614. Some of you might be familiar with him. And from there, it just rolled on to the point where It's even now referenced by ZOS themselves in some videos of what the ESO fan is, so it's become big. The ESO fan is not just a gaming community. Giving this emote over to Ninja614 symbolised something that we have in the ESO fam, which is a close-knit team of individuals, be it streamers, guildmasters, players, who all respect and support each other. So the Elder Scrolls Online is a very open, diverse community, and it's been known to throughout multiple other directories as the one where you go if you want to make friends with other streamers. They're not your competition, they're your friends.
Yeah.
And that's a big difference. We've noticed, I think it was the ESO party we had with Noel last PAX, which was now a few years ago. That one, I invited some Overwatch streamers and a couple of other people to it that weren't part of ESO. I said, come along, we've got a few spare, do you want to come? And they came along, and the comment they said is, your community is just so friendly. I'm like, isn't everything like that? do you go out to like, and she's like, no, it's like you all just love this stuff and you love each other. Like you're just connect so well, and that's because of all of you. So this is your behaviour, your attitudes towards each other, and that sort of stuff. And in part, that's also because of the Elder Scrolls itself, the Elder Scrolls series, the Elder Scrolls Online, their storytelling, the cultures within the game. They've always promoted diversity as a norm, and they've also promoted doing what's best for your fellow man, mer, or beast folk. So it's always, you always have to help people. That's the storytelling fundamentals are there of helping each other. So that's underlying where we believe a lot of this comes from. I remember the first time I ever played it, was going through quests, and I think Bosma said, my wife's been kidnapped, and she was a female. And I went, they didn't make a thing of it, it was just normal. Oh, that's the way it should be, right? It is normal. Which I thought that was wonderful, you know. It's a wonderful thing, it's just part of the storytelling. And that was just one example of writing parts of everyday life that we have into a fantasy, which I thought was wonderful. That's my little intro on that. Would any of you guys like to add to that? I'm just doing all the talking, that's all.
Oh, you've got a nice voice. Where does this go? For me, Elder Scrolls Online was actually my first major game. I started out gaming with Overwatch. Overwatch Sundays with my good mates. And eventually I just sort of wanted a little bit more than just sort of hopping on and, you know, killing everyone. So I hopped onto ESO and started killing everyone. But no, I went from, you know, playing this game with my friends, and then those friends sort of stopped playing a little bit, and I found a community within the game. And within 6 months, I was Guildmaster of Great House Halalu. So all of a sudden, I was not just playing a video game, I was managing a major trade guild on the PCNA server, whilst also trying to figure out, how does Magicka work? So that was really interesting for me, and I'm still learning. I've been playing now for 4 years, and you know, I still don't know how the game works. But I have a wonderful time with the parts that I do enjoy, and I have an even more wonderful time talking to my community about the things that they enjoy, that I don't necessarily see every day when I'm online, especially now that I'm also streaming Elder Scrolls Online most days when I'm live. So as much as you're playing, like I said, it's a lot of conversation on my side, so it's kind of hard to pay attention sometimes to the actual game when you're paying attention to everyone in chat. So yeah, ESO for me, it legitimately became an ESO fam, ESO community as a broad, and whilst that fluctuates and changes and all that jazz over every single day and year and week, yeah, it's definitely something that's gotten us all through many a time, especially with COVID that's just gone. So yeah, I've gone through jobs and I've gone through friends, and I haven't really gone through my ESO fam. That's just continued to grow.
Nice. Just so you're aware, I couldn't think of anything for orchestra music in case anyone starts to talk too long, so... Alright? So if anyone... You can't do it to me, that's the only thing.
Oh, I can.
Now, as I mentioned earlier, charity and fundraising is a big part of what drives me towards this. I have a family, a day job, that sort of stuff, and so my stream was never about making funds for myself. So from early on, my stream, anything that came in from stream views, revenue, ad revenue, people subscribing, probably for maybe, what do you think this video is, first 6 months, probably, and then after that we switched to full donation to charity, and I've been doing that for a few years now. The first 6 months got me a good camera and microphone, and then I said, I don't need anything else. This will last me years. We're good. So I went 100% profits to charity. Then started building, made the Tamriel Down Under website, and kicked off with the help of my wife the Playing for Joey's charity, which several of you, I can see a couple of people in the audience there that have been part of that, and these lovely people here, and Mr. Nupp. Wants me to point him out that he's been making my videos and the Eshies Wish Adventure video game in the last 2 years. We make
Which is on
more
Steam,
videos.
by
Yes,
the way.
Steam Eshies Wish Adventure.
Just FYI, definitely go and get it.
Yeah, so this is, and it's also, let me shout out to Bethesda, ANZA Pack. I get it right. Is that close enough?
It's close. It's good. It's
Okay.
good work.
For always supporting us through that. Some of the game codes we give away, prizes, which we've got a few here as well. They're provided by them, and being able to do that is obviously turn off my content, not prizes, but it always helps. And the Playing for Joey's now. I think last time I checked, we'd raised in the last 3 years of doing. Well, we're on year 4 now, aren't we? Yeah, 4 videos, 4 years. So in 4 years, we've raised just around about $80,000 all up over those 4 years
Well done.
for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And that's all thanks to volunteers. We've had sponsors from a few companies across there. They've had their ads, so I don't need to shout them out. Just these
You've had your time.
That's right. The second, third, and fourth year we had sponsors. The first year it was just us. We involved streamers from all around the world, and recently we've been raising money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, US, UK, and Australia. So the three of them, depending on the streamer's region where they want to raise money for. It's been fantastic. I've made contacts with multiple organisations through this: WWF, Make-A-Wish, Autism Australia. They've all reached out to me and asked for advice on this, like how you do this fundraising thing online, because we get donations in, I drop money, and if it was a significant amount, they usually ring and go, thank you. So I'm like, don't thank me, thank my community. I'm like, what do you mean? So then we get into a conversation. I'm like, how do we do that? I'm like,
Get a community.
I'm like, reach out to people like me, and we'll help. So there's ways and means to do that through these online platforms that have made a massive difference, and that's where we bring the magic of the Elder Scrolls to life. We take the magic of these lovely people, the people I'm talking to now, and where's the camera? You lovely people will be on YouTube eventually, or you, whichever camera angle I end up using. Yeah, all of these lovely people are the ones that make this magic come to life. We have seen a noticeable impact on the world from charity organisations. I think last year through streams I donated nearly $2,000 to Food Bank. We all know what that was about during the pandemic, with families that couldn't feed themselves due to loss of work and that sort of stuff. So that was a big effort there. So we got to see real time by the news what Food Bank was doing, and that in part was due to money that was donated through some of these events. You'll see a little ad later at the end of this. ESOFam.com went live 2 days ago. It was just pointing to our Playing for Joey site for quite a while. And we put a web store on there, which has just got a few bits of merchandise that I need to build up and get a few more things ready on. But that's the same sort of thing. It's going to be all profits to charity, that sort of stuff. So it's all in my spare time. We're doing that. And it's been a fantastic run. And so is this speech. I better pass on to someone else.
Yes, I see.
Yes. I also raise money through ESO, and my daughter has type 1 diabetes, and so I raise money for the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, because one day it would be very nice if she didn't have that anymore, if we could get a cure. So the Elder Scrolls Online community has been really generous, and for that in particular, there are actually a surprising number of people who are affected by diabetes in the ESO community of many types. Yeah, my community has been, and the broader community has been amazing. Just this last fundraising push, which was just a month ago, they raised $1,500, which was the most ever. So I'm so grateful for their help. It's amazing.
Right.
The other part of just charity in general is obviously monetary when it comes to charity. Actual charity organisations is incredible, but within the game, the amount of people that say, yeah, the first week I was in the game, someone walked up to me, asked me to trade, and I was like, oh God, what's this about? And all of a sudden they've got 100,000 gold or 1 million gold, or they've given them a bunch of training gear and they're like, go, have fun, like enjoy yourself. If you need anything, add me as a friend. Make sure you find the guild finder. Don't forget that there are communities out there. Like, you can play on your own, but if you want to play with others, there's a bunch of options for you. When it comes to outside of the game, like personally for me, I have a wonderful moderator for my Twitch channel. Her name is Ego Hazardous. Ego. We love Ego. She does a lot of work for the ESO community, but for me, she's a really good friend. And during COVID, her computer started to fail, and she hasn't really had a major daytime job for quite some time, due to life and due to COVID then happening. And when she sort of started saying it was failing, it was just sort of offhandedly discussed within our community. And within a month or so, convinced her to set up a wish list, and she did. And that wish list eventually emptied out, and people sent her things, people that knew her well enough to be able to send her physical items, and all of a sudden she had a computer working again, and she could moderate still, and she could play the video games that we all very much know how hard it is to take breaks from when you have your communities within them. So that was a really beautiful thing to be able to witness, and I think I cried maybe half a dozen times on stream every time a major piece was sent out to her, because it's pretty hard to see people that you love not being able to be there when you know that they want to be there. So that was really wonderful. It was really wonderful.
Wonderful. Kim, you had something to say on charity too?
Yeah, I mean, we love supporting any streams, any communities that are always doing charity work. I mean, we've definitely tried to do more charity work as well, and you guys have jumped on our QuakeCon streams with us in the past, where we donate to Dallas Pets Alive, Four Paws, and you even joined us last year for our Bethesda Holiday Special, where we donated to Cure Cancer Australia's Game on Cancer stuff. So they have been... yeah, thank you, Brandy.
That was not planned.
Those are all really helpful, and we absolutely love supporting those things, and you guys have kind of been integral in helping with all of that, and anybody else who joins us on those amazing streams. So thank you from us particularly. It's been amazing.
Thank you. Now, Angry. You wanted to talk about game life balance. You've got a bit to talk about there. So,
So most of you guys know, when playing video games, time can go quickly. An unhealthy relationship with games can occur sometimes. Whether that's ordering Uber, all that type of stuff, like we're all used to it. So it's hard, especially when you're streaming for a community and you kind of get addicted to streaming constantly and like wanting to be there for the community and stuff like that, and trying to figure out the work-life balance, because obviously when I first started streaming I didn't actually have a job, so that was like my main income, so it's hard to kind of, I guess, like separate the work from the streaming type of thing. It's almost like a job at that point, so it's kind of hard to find the balance and all that, because yeah, it can get very unhealthy and all that. So I'm glad I've like taken a step back essentially and be like, this is not what I really want to do, and then just try to get all like socially and like all that type of stuff kind of back on track. So yeah, but it's a lot easier, especially with the community who can support you through like a lot of those decisions, because obviously you're trying to be there for your community and all that, but at the same time they're like, it's okay to take a break, like, because you're always stressing about like, I've missed a day or two, like they're going to hate me type of thing. You kind of put that pressure on yourself. So having a community that can kind of reassure you that, it's okay to take a break and they actually care about you, like that's a really good thing.
We're all very excited when you go live.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get back into it, so yeah.
Matt, you mentioned earlier about scaling back a bit. You want to have a chat about that?
Yeah. I sort of recently had a bit of a crisis. I just got to that point where I'd settled into my streaming schedule and I was doing my 3 nights a week. And when you're trying to like grow as a streamer, you get very attached to that schedule, and everyone gives you advice like, this is how you grow, this is how you like build your community and build loyalty with people. And I'm a very structured person, so I really value that. Like, this is when I go live on these days of the week, and it needs to be like super important. But I did that for, I think it was almost 2.5 years without really stopping. I'd missed a stream here and there, but I went back and looked at my stats and was like, I haven't taken a full week off streaming in 2.5 years. Largely streaming the same game. And it all got a little bit much. And then I was like, what's it all for? What am I doing? I'm quitting streaming. It's quite dramatic for about 24 hours. But I kind of realized, like you were saying about your community, like caring, and actually they want you to take the break. And I was like, I'm the only person that's putting all this pressure on myself, and I'm putting this pressure on myself to try and appease the people that aren't in my community yet, because for me it was like trying to get that growth. And I was like, I'd gotten completely distracted from the people that were already in my community, that were more than happy for me to take the week off, that would be there when I came back. And I was like, this is completely arse about. And so I guess just within even the last couple of months, I've tried to just back off a little bit. And rediscover the joy of streaming and the value of the community that I have, rather than spending so much of that mental energy trying to like impress people that I don't even like know yet. And yeah, it's weird. Streaming's weird.
It is weird, yeah.
Streaming is weird.
But it was, and sometimes you just need that shake up. You need something to kind of get you out of your rhythm, to be like, okay, this something needs to change here.
Like suddenly moving states and having to take 3 weeks off.
Yeah.
And everyone was still there when I got back.
Yeah.
Thank you. Seriously.
Yep.
Super appreciate that.
I took a week off and everything was fine.
Everything was fine.
And this goes back to ESO Fam and the support of the streamers.
Yep.
Like, anyone sitting in this room can do the same thing we do. Like, anyone can stream. Most of it takes the dedication to having a schedule and to, I suppose, get to know people and remember people and have that social aspect. And even I've had to come out of my shell. I used it for that purpose in the beginning. I wanted to help people with the game originally, and I thought double side of this is I can gain a little bit of public speaking from this. It's great. It's good for my skills. But depends what you get.
Look at him now.
Look at him now, guys. He's doing great. He just won't shut up.
But game life balance is an important thing, not just for streamers, for gamers as well. Having a community and friends that you play online with now adds to that pressure, because you question your loyalties. If I stop playing, we're working as a team to try and complete the trial, to get on the leaderboards, to get platinum, to grow in skill in the game with your friends who are not taking a break. So if you take a break, you're letting your friends down, right? Well, when you don't take a break, you break. And at that point, you can't be good to anybody. You need to be good to yourself before you can be any good to anybody else. And that's something that Ms. Fiji has pushed on me quite a bit as a mental health expert herself.
As a guild master, I often watch people come in, these incredible people who have so much knowledge, and they come in and they throw themselves into helping everyone that they meet in chat in the guild or in Discord. And after 6 months of grinding every event and getting absolutely everything and every achievement that they were going for, and then they go, I'm so tired. And I was like, I told you 4 months ago to just slow down and enjoy it. The game is not going anywhere, but you're going to end up going away. and they do, and it's really sad, and it's hard to see. But you, as soon as they realise it, you're like, awesome. Take that break, come back refreshed, enjoy it next time. Don't rush to absolutely every end that you're looking for, because it's still going to be there in 6 months. You don't have to get it in 6 hours.
And I think that goes for all games that we play.
Any
whether
game.
they're MMOs or single player. So just enjoy the game you're playing.
Have fun.
Enjoy your hobby.
Yeah, it's a hobby,
Yeah.
exactly. Oh my gosh.
And one thing that I want to personally stress that I've found as one of the most important factors, you'll hear it from time to time around mental health, is sleep. Who here, hands up if you've traded sleep for gaming? Okay, there's a psych nurse watching all of you right now.
We love you all. Please sleep more.
Please sleep more.
As adults, staying hydrated and having 7 to 8 hours of sleep every day, aiming for that, and not just aiming and achieving it, is important. Very important to your mental health, because it will do long-term damage to you. You need to maintain a schedule of sleep. And I'm looking at everyone in this room.
Including himself.
Yes.
There's a mirror somewhere. That's
Miss Fiji is looking at you very hard.
wife looking right back at me.
Can't feel bad eyebrows. So fun.
I'm very scared.
Kim, you want to have a quick word about game-life balance too?
Yeah, like I mean, working in the gaming industry obviously is like people assume that we play lots of video games. We do, but then we also work as well. And I think when I joined the SO firm as well, I had played Elder Scrolls Online once when it first came out, open beta on my Mac when I was at uni. So that was like 8 years ago, and I never got back into it. And then I worked at Ubisoft for 4 years, and then I started Bethesda only 2.5 years ago now. It feels like it's been longer. And one of those things was I was like, I have 6 years worth of content to catch up on for Elder Scrolls Online. I'm the community manager. People are going to be like, you should know this. And I definitely started that burnout where it's like I was playing through content. I was like, I'm not absorbing any of this, but I just wanted to be there and understand it. And then I kind of stepped back and I was like, you know what? No, I think I need to just play this game the way that I want to play it, which is I just like sightseeing. Like I don't want to do a trial, even though these guys drag me through trials and they always carry me through everything. But I felt really supported because even when I did want to do those trials, they were happy to like carry me, and I'm not great. But this is the thing, like I felt really supported in doing that, and I don't feel that huge amount of pressure to catch up on 6 to 7 years worth of content. I'm only working here for 2 years, and then on top of that, we look after other titles. We're not dedicated to just one brand. So no, the SOFM has actually been super supportive of me, you know, even in my career, working in the industry. So no, there is definitely a balance that you kind of have to take, even when you work in the industry. It's like, yeah, I can't burn myself out just to catch up. I'm going to play at my pace and with the rest of the community. So.
And then you have us children to look after as well.
That's play how you want, like tagline. That's been the tagline since the game came out.
Absolutely.
And there's just ever increasing ways to play the game, which I think does allow people to balance it with however the game fits into their life. You know, you're able to do it in like a healthy way, whether that means that you just raid a couple of nights a week, or you spend all your game time doing housing or PvP or whatever it is that like makes you happy. The game allows you to generally do that thing, and you don't really have to participate in the aspects that you don't want to.
And it does really feel like the design of the game itself facilitates that, because the new content that comes out each year is really based on, no, you can start the game here.
Yeah.
You don't have to play all the 6 years of content to actually, and then do the new stuff. It's like, it really does say, no, here's fine, you can start here. If you want to explore the other stuff, you go for it, but you can start here, and that's fine. So I think that's great. It's a really good way to do it.
Yep. This panel goes into a little special mode now because it's called dual moderation. I'm going to step down because we're going to talk about diversity as well. And there's no point having the straight white man tell you about diversity. I'm going to hand over to the most handsome man in the room, Mr. Macklinator, to take over the panel from this point on. And he wants to do it from his seat.
I'm not standing up.
I'll take a seat.
We've been walking around all day. It's not you, it's him.
I just like to be, one of the people. It's all about quality here. But yeah, we did want to talk about inclusivity because obviously, like Daffy mentioned earlier on, that quest that he just sort of stumbled across, and I feel like even pre-Elder Scrolls Online, the Elder Scrolls universe has like representation in some really good ways, and then it addresses like inequality in ways that are not quite so literal. Like there's obviously like issues of racism that they put throughout the game, so they're able to kind of talk about these topics, but in a way that's it's fantasy. It's removed enough from reality that we can it's not like necessarily too triggering for people, but it is like an inclusive. Feels like an inclusive and a diverse player base, and I think because of the long history of the single player games, I feel like that's at the heart of why the Elder Scrolls Online community is so different from other MMOs, is because there's so many other people that have come from a completely different gaming culture, and a lot of that diversity, like it just doesn't matter. Like I was playing Elder Scrolls Online for a long time before I came out, and the first people I came out to officially were fellow Elder Scrolls Online players, and it almost didn't even need to be said because it didn't make any difference. And for years I've been playing in that space where it was just kind of irrelevant. We were playing a game together, we're killing dragons and fantasy creatures, and like it doesn't matter. None of the rest of it really matters. So it was actually quite an easy sort of transition to make. But now I'm in a position where I'm facilitating a community, and that's like a whole different kettle of fish. But I feel very privileged to hold a bit of a queer space in the as like a Twitch streamer and an ESO streamer, and I don't like to use the word safe space because I feel like nowhere is safe. Yeah, I like to say inclusive, and we joke about how straight people are also welcome in my channel, which obviously they are. But I
Thank the Lord, or that'd be an awkward working relationship.
But it's a privilege and something I take quite seriously. That I do hold a bit of a space here where I'm trying to make people comfortable regardless of their sexual identity, their gender identity, people with like physical disabilities, like all that stuff it's so invisible on Twitch, and the game we're playing kind of makes some of that visible. But it's just nice to be in a space where everyone can kind of be who they are.
And who they want.
Yeah, and that's it. And who you are in game is not, you just get to choose that, and that can be a reflection of who you are IRL, but it could also be something completely different. And it's just, it's very, I'm quite touched when people come back to me and they're like, oh, like your community's just been like such a great place to hang out, and I feel like you're proud of who you are, so I can be proud of who I am. I'm like, oh, I didn't even do anything.
I'm just existing.
I just turn the camera on and talk nonsense for like 4 hours at a time.
I feel cool down.
And I'm angry you had some stuff about that you wanted to share as well.
Yeah, like Matt was saying, like it's such an inclusive community because there's no judgment most of the time when playing video games. I know, especially being a female in any type of, could be MMO, could be first person shooter, as soon as you have like a voice chat, like that's it. Like there's that level of just like, gamer girl, you're a female, like type of thing. So most of the time you can be exposed to the negative type of behaviour from different players and all that, but you just kind of have to take it on the chin, especially like as a female, even like a gay female, like minority type of thing. So it can be like a, especially when you come home from work, you just want to like vibe and just play video games, and then you like hit that, it can be quite like a low point type of thing, but you're always going to have other people to support you to kind of like wash away all that negativity pretty much. What Matt was saying as well, I think when I came out, all through high school, I was like straight, because that's kind of like the normality, literally, because like if you're different in high school, like you're fucked pretty much. So it's
I wasn't ready for this conversation.
Oh. So yeah, being like in the normal barriers in high school is like the safer way to go pretty much. But becoming an adult and actually like trying new things and experimenting and all the type of stuff, it really it's just going through
It really
yeah.
Gamer girl,
Yeah, and it kind of started as like, you kind of have to accept yourself first. So like, it'll just be like, I don't know, Matt would be exactly the same. Kind of accepting yourself first, and like I used to always whisper like, okay, and then it would get like louder and louder and louder. It's like, I'm gay, like just get it out there, just be proud of it, type of thing. So the ESO community really helped me through that kind of transition as well, just because they don't care. Like it's such a good community, and I'm very happy to still be a part of it. Which,
Yeah, I have people come into chat sometimes that obviously have come from like other like categories on Twitch, and be like, oh, like it's just so like nice to be in like a space like this, and like thank you, and I'm like, okay, like thank you, but also I feel like
What?
yeah, but I feel like all of the other ESO streamers that I watch, it's all the same. Like I don't have like some special magical stream where my stream is safe and none of the others are. Like it's across the category, and that's when we talk about
Across the continent.
you know, we're colleagues, not competitors. Like the culture, we have our own subcultures, that's for sure.
Yeah, of course.
But the culture across the ESO category is so accepting. And then a bit like you were saying, like I feel like what happens out there in like other categories, like I can't even comprehend. Like
Been spoiled.
Just chatting is a really scary place. That's all I'm going to say. It's a very scary place.
Like, Elder
Don't
Scrolls
start there
Online,
streaming.
And then little bits of variety. And like when I stream variety, I get my like most loyal community, and then just kind of nobody else, because that's how Twitch works.
Yeah.
And so I never get like that toxicity that apparently is like all over the internet. Who knew? And
People come in and
that's
try and
such a testament to like the ESO fam. Because like the community self-moderates. You're right. People come in and they try and they say really awful things, and we're all just
and
like,
people just ignore them. The chat just goes up.
yeah. And you're like, what are you expecting to happen here?
Like I'll be 8 minutes behind on chat, and I'll get to this spot, and I'll be like, oh, no one okay, I'll just ignore it then. It's
Yeah.
fine. No one reacted to it, so I'm not going to react
but
to
it's,
it.
yeah, but it's not just us as streamers. Like it's the whole player community, like self-moderating. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I found success in the hot tub category too. That was alright.
I need to talk to you later.
Yeah. Anyone else have anything they want to share on inclusivity?
I really like it when people in my chat feel comfortable telling me that they're also neurodiverse as well. So, like I've got people in my chat who are gender diverse, but yeah, like it's really fantastic. Like people are, like it's a nice place to hang out in the ESO fam. Like you don't. It's kind of like if you are not a dick, or the other one that we decided that we couldn't say.
Yes.
You're
Didn't whisper it
welcome.
earlier.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
come in and have fun.
Yeah. And I think that's such a testament as well, like that, like those invisible disabilities that for especially people with like a physical, like presenting as disabled IRL, like they're constantly having to deal with that interaction with other people. You can't introduce yourself to someone without them knowing this about you. Whereas when you're on Twitch, you don't have to tell anybody. But so the fact that they're sort of putting that information forward entirely voluntarily, I think is a real testament to.
Yeah, it's a real
At
cool
most,
thing.
it's like, I like the colour of your name, and that's a really cool badge.
Yeah, that's it. Like your username is basically the only thing that, you know, and even that people have chosen for themselves. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's lovely.
And then we also wanted to talk about the friendships that start in game that become like IRL friendships. How many people here have met someone like in game first that you've since met like outside the game, present company excluded? Yeah, heaps of you.
I don't even mean you guys. I mean other people.
Yeah. Obviously we've met in person, believe it or
This is
not.
my first time meeting Icy, actually, to be fair. First time meeting Icy.
I think a lot of us also have that experience of starting with ESO from IRL friendships who then abandoned us.
They did.
That was
Still
my
in pain.
experience. My friends peer pressured me into it. I was like, I don't want to have to pay every month to play a game.
Mine was like,
I didn't talk like that
MMOs.
back then.
Gross. And then I was like,
And then they all left after like a month, maybe 2 months, and I was left to fend for myself. And I played it like a single player game for probably 9 months, and then I stumbled into a social guild in PvP of all places, which is not my jam. And that was that was the beginning of a very long journey into what did you call them? Something
Parasocial relationships.
Yeah, those.
We were discussing, we were wondering how many people in the audience knew us,
that we don't
any
know.
of us, any faces, and we don't, because we don't get to see you guys. Some of you guys, some of the present company, I do happen to be lucky enough to know face to face, because they are actually good friends. Some that I have met in stream, and I have had that moment where I felt comfortable enough to take that next step and become a friend. But for some other people, I can be exceptionally close with them online. I can know so much about them, but they could come up into the street and say, "Oh my God, hi, Kristen," and I'd take a step back and be like, why are you in my space? I don't know who you are. And it's a really confusing part of life. It's a very normal part of life now, because online relationships are even more normal, even with work across companies. And you guys used to work on the same floors, and now you work in separate suburbs of different, countries. And it's a really interesting thing, and we value every single person that comes in and tells us such personal things, and we do the same thing back. And it does get really hard sometimes to be like, wow, it's very one-sided, and we've got to put those boundaries down, because we're one person taking on a community, and vice versa. That's many people with just that one at the foot of all of that, at the foot of everyone stepping.
But it's a cool thing when those friendships, it's a really awkward, weird step to take.
It is.
The meeting someone IRL for the first time. But
he just walked up behind me and took so long to say hello. I was like, who's staring at me?
I was hearing June for the dinner, and I just saw the back of her head, and I had this weird moment of hesitation, like, do I say Kristen?
Rad?
Do I say Rad? Like, I don't know what to say. And
I
it took
turned around
long
and
enough
was
that she turned, and we just sort of stared at each other.
I was like,
It's very
hello!
bizarre. But I've got friends that I met through raiding in ESO, and I know with certainty that even if I was to quit the game and stop playing altogether, the friendship is bigger than the game now. We still play together all the time, but if I stopped playing, we'd still be friends. And I've stayed with them. They're here in Melbourne, and I stayed with them multiple times because I'm from Perth. And at first it was a bit strange to go and stay in the house of these people that I play video games with.
My
on the
gamer
internet.
friends.
Yeah. But now it's it's not weird at all. And it's kind of cool because we talk all the time. I talk to these people probably almost every day, certainly every week. But I see them. I haven't seen some of them for 3 years, thanks COVID. It's just strange. Sort of the friendships sort of exist in both spaces. Anyone's got examples of friendships that
Yeah, way back in beta days, second open beta, I got to play Elder Scrolls Online after going, they'll never make a multiplayer Elder Scrolls game. And then it was there, and I was like, oh my god. And got to chatting with people in the official beta forums who played around the same time as I did. So, in which case, most were Australian and New Zealanders with a couple of lead shift Americans. And then when the game went live, we formed a guild. And for those of us who are in Australia, we literally met up one time. And I'm still friends with one person who sort of dabbles every so often playing. But yeah, and when we go to Canberra, we go and visit him. So
my first
really
PAX
great.
House was a guild meetup
Yeah.
thing, and there was 7 of us, all the officers in the social guild, that we all booked an Airbnb because it was so much cheaper to just book it all together. We just booked one massive 8-person Airbnb.
Yeah.
But it was a really weird feeling walking into that room. I was the last person to arrive, and there was all of these strange faces, but all their voices were so familiar. It was so bizarre.
Just close your eyes and be like,
actually did that. I was like, no, I know all these people. Come on, brain, catch up. Ears, talk to the eyes.
Yeah. Well, that's something I sent a tweet out before I left this morning. It's something that I have a little bit of a regret over. I have met in real life multiple people at PAX. So this is PAX year, I think 3 or 4 that we've been to. I went to E3 in Los Angeles and met a lot of friends in the US that were there, people on the stream team and people that I've chatted to over there, and at Cinemax I met all of those people. I never took photos with them. So this year is the year of selfies.
So if you want a selfie with Daku,
If you want a selfie, ask. I'll say yes. I'm not allowed to say no. If you want a photo with a mask on too, that's okay, in case you're wondering. Like, that's something, normalise it, it's fine. If you are wearing a mask for a reason, we don't expect you to take it off to take a selfie. You can still ask, take a photo with it on. That's okay.
and if you want to just come say hi and be like, oh, I watch your channel, it's not weird.
And we won't post,
Not weird.
We won't
We're
post
lovely
it
to
on
meet
this
you.
link.
It's a little bit weird, but we want you to do it.
You have our consent to make it weird.
It's not weird, but we will be awkward.
We won't necessarily post you on our socials without asking
Yeah,
first.
that's
fine.
another thing. Like, please don't think that if you meet us, we're gonna be like, this is this person with this @ handle, and you know them from chat, and you're like, oh my god, I didn't know that was gonna happen. We won't do that.
Like I said to someone earlier, these photos are for my personal use.
Daku, do you know what that means? It's fine.
So yeah, photos later.
He doesn't mean what you think. I
But
hope.
Daku, we have 10 minutes left. I think there's a really big important time.
We have a whole
like-
bunch of
Yeah.
to give away.
So
Really cool
I'm
stuff.
going to stand
Cool
up
stuff,
again
but, you
because
this is not that's not a comment on the
this
quality,
is my comfortable.
only the quantity.
He wants to be the tallest, so we have to sit down.
No, I just like it up here. It's
Much
pretty.
for quality.
I get a good view.
Straight white man. Yep.
Okay, Ms. Bradcore, before we move on, can you
Yes.
please talk about these wonderful shirts?
Okay, I would love to say a big thank you. Hopefully some people in the community already know one of my good friends, a friend I made in-game, who's now an actual friend, Amandink. This is her everything. She does Rainbow Connection tie-dye. It is a on-the-side job. She works full-time, she studies full-time, and she does this as a hobby for fun. And I want to surprise my lovely panel members. We've got Icy, who's made her beautiful brooch. We've got Kim in the Bethesda Pride t-shirt. And I asked Amanda to please make something for us all. So we have our Pride inclusive flag with Daku. We have the bisexual Pride flag for myself. We have Maplander's gay male Pride flag. And we have our beautiful lesbian Pride flag over here for our beautiful lesbian over here. Bianca, I hear, is the name that you prefer.
Yep.
The tension here.
We really like each other. Amandink is an incredible person, also someone that is part of the LGBTQIA+ greater community, and has had a lot of connection through both ESO but Twitch as a whole. Apparently it's my fault that she's still on Twitch. So thanks for being here, Amanda.
Can we talk about the logos?
Oh yeah, I got Amanda to make them. It was a nice present, right? I paid someone to do the job. And then I sent them to Daku and I went, can you put like pretty stickers on them with our chosen logos? So I gave them a gift that I made someone else do for me. So it's okay to outsource is what I'm trying to say. They're better at it than me.
It's a combined effort. Don't take all the credit. Come on. Now, who got one of these lovely bracelets?
Hopefully everyone. Did anyone miss out? Anyone?
I think. Did we have any left? Or did we get them all? If you
just
got
wanna
any
make
left and you
sure.
missed out, grab them on the way out from our lovely enforcers.
Cool.
If you have that, can you just turn it inside out and see if you've got any of our names on it?
This is the Oprah mode.
Yeah.
We take you home.
Nobody gets it.
Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4.
We've got a few out there. All right. I'm going to dob Kim in. She can give the prizes away.
Hey.
Kim is so good at giving.
Well, you decided that you wanted to be all the way down there.
I did decide that.
So,
Down the end, yeah.
So do we know what we're giving away? So each of those persons gets one of the major prizes. Now, I don't know how this is going to work because I wasn't sure how big this room is going to be. It's a fairly large room.
it's a very large room.
Compared to the last one, which was overflowing. I've got baby heavy sacks.
It wasn't an accident. He definitely meant to order them in that size.
Hey, it's not the size that counts. That's what I keep saying. So if I do this and just throw them, will that be good enough?
Is there anything hard inside them?
Yep, they're soft.
Right,
No, they're small and soft, just like everyone likes.
Take these
I don't know if I...
Go, just run, Kim, run.
Public liability insurance, look out.
Oh, nice. Good throw.
Can the people with the names on the inside of the bracelets come up to grab your prize?
Sorry to make you come up, but
It'll be worth it.
it'll be worth it.
Wow.
Did you used to play footy?
What does Bastian say? Even an old fat might.
And Nelly, he's
I'm sorry, what does
the
Bastian
sprinkler.
say?
Alright, last one.
They're very hot. They are very hot. I must preface. About 800 scovels.
Now, we'd like to get a few comments from the audience on...
Yeah, look, I mean, unless they're going to kick us out.
Yeah, we'll kick
Does anyone have any questions or cool?
Or any answers?
Does anyone have any
Any answers at all?
Yes.
Do we have a
Microphone.
Do we have a
You can go up and
microphone?
use that microphone.
If you would like,
to
otherwise.
ask anything.
Can I get a runner, please?
I think we're going to start getting the soon.
I don't know about that one.
Don't give it to him anyway.
Don't give it to that guy.
So they're giant body pillows. So all you need to do is go to Kmart.
Hello, Patchy.
Body pillows. So, and that'll
We don't know this guy.
My name is Patrick Warrior, and I watch a ESO streamer called Naveen, and he's really good looking, but I want to be a streamer like him. Do you have any advice on being a content creator?
Well,
Just pull the mic slightly away from your face. Unless you're going for ASMR, and then that's good. That's a good start.
I'm thinking ASMR might be the category for you. We've got this. So, I mean, that's the first thing you need to do. You need to pick your category. That's
Yeah.
100%. It's
Pick a category,
pick your category. Also, I have one more heavy set.
but don't stick to it.
Wasn't even watching. Perfect catch.
Patchy, do you want to be a lovely person and run that down to this bit?
Patchy.
Don't.
Before you go, have a light.
Thank you.
Patchy's our runner now. We've got a lovely person in a beautiful, beautiful pride mask.
Confuser. Hello.
Give him the mic as well.
No, microphone. The sax for you. I've got something else for this one.
Yeah, I was just the person who said I love Darcy. Hi, Darcy. I guess just like, how much, like how many of you started like just getting the game something to play? Has that sort of made you like then go back and look for more and like the whole world of it? Like how I'm sorry, just let me start over. How many of you started just playing the game and then just like went back and wow,
I was the other way around. I loved ESO Law to begin with. Then went MMORPG, no. And then went, I'll give it a go, and got stuck.
Angry, didn't you buy it thinking it was Skyrim?
Okay, sorry.
Look.
So I initially played Xbox, and I really liked Skyrim, and I was like, this is a really cool game. And I went to EB Games, and I was like, I've got a PC now that had like a CD-ROM and everything. That was really cool. And I was like, okay, let me just buy Skyrim for PC. And no, it ended up being Elder Scrolls Online, and I loaded up the game, and like the main theme song was, and I was like, okay, this is Skyrim, this is that music. And so yeah, I pretty much stumbled accidentally into playing Elder Scrolls, and I was like, it was actually a really like cool game. I was like, I'll just stick with it, and here we are.
Didn't you do that with Siege too?
did. Okay, so
Is this a Q&A?
another story.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be in another community, like first-person shooter, and there's a women's community. It's called Women's, like ANZ at the end of it. And a good friend of mine, Berna Bear, she, I didn't know her at the time, but she said, she put a little ad out on the Discord, and she's like, we're looking for like female players for this this league. And I was like, that's really cool. Didn't actually know what the game was, and I thought it was CS:GO. So CS:GO is free, and I downloaded it. And I was like, okay. Rocked up to my like first training session, got a few people involved, and they're like, what's your Steam? And I was like, oh, this is it. And they were like, we don't see you online. And I'm like, well, I'm in game. And they were like, you're playing the right game, right? And I was like, CS:GO. It's like, no, Rainbow Six Siege. So I panicked. I was like, I'll download it right now. And you know, shitty Australian internet, it took 3 hours. So I was just sitting there awkwardly going, is this where I want to be? Because like, I've stuffed this up so bad. But no. Yeah, again, like another
Great
amazing
story.
community that we've got.
Good story though. That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
so I've accidentally stumbled into so many communities head first, like blind. But no, I'm glad because I made a lot of really good friends.
Anyone else got a...
Maybe Nick.
Yeah,
We
got
had
any
another. We did have another question.
You got another one in the audience?
Run
I
down.
got both.
Run.
Two questions, one really cheeky one.
Love a cheeky
The
question.
Character transfers from console to PC?
Look, honestly, we don't have a lot of chatting with the dev team at the moment, but as I'm aware, nothing that I can share.
And then my real question. Sorry, it was just a joke.
It's alright. The audio didn't pick it up, so it's fine.
How do I politely tell a family member that is getting into streaming that they're streaming the wrong content? Like there's really no audience to what he's streaming, but he wants to get like an audience and make a living off of it.
Does he enjoy it?
I guess.
If
It
he's-
seems like it.
Yeah, look, it's always going to be a slow growth.
Even in the
It's really important to actually enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, because if you're streaming, you really do want to have fun doing what you're doing because it comes through on the stream. So it's probably better, even if what he's streaming is not necessarily like really popular. If he's having fun, that's really important. And the other thing I'd say is actually much easier to get better at streaming if you start small because there's no consequences. If he's not really streaming to anybody, that's actually probably a great spot to start because it doesn't matter if he makes mistakes, it doesn't matter if he's a bit rough, it doesn't matter if he misses reads, and says thank you properly because he can get all that sort of sorted and that becomes more automatic. And as he gains confidence, then yeah, he might want to pick up another game that is more popular. But also, you're still probably better to start in something that's smaller and stand out in a smaller pond rather than jumping into something that's huge. Because, well, you should stream Elder Scrolls Online, to be honest.
We want you to stream Elder Scrolls Online,
no bias.
but
Because, yeah, as we've been talking about, sort of other Twitch communities can be not as supportive of other people. So he's definitely better, even if it's a smaller thing, to start out doing something he's really enjoying. If he wants to get big, do that for 6 months, and then maybe evaluate what he's doing from there.
Yeah, I say a lot, like it depends what your goals are. So if you just want to stream, just stream, like it doesn't matter what you're streaming, but if you're trying to grow in a category and potentially turn it into like a side gig or an income, you do have to get a bit more strategic about it and kind of picking a category that's not saturated, it's not like there's not too many huge streamers in the category, but also not a category that nobody's watching. Because if nobody's watching, then nobody's going to watch.
yeah, it's one of those
If
things.
the category's too small, there's just literally not enough viewership.
Yeah, true. And if you pick the right community, getting to know the other streamers like we did is a big way because we support each other. There are a few categories like that.
Yeah. But
Like
don't
I
just
said-
rock up in someone's chat and start plugging your
Yeah,
shit.
don't advertise yourself.
Make friends.
Yeah, make friends
Yeah,
with them.
that's sort of
And
what
let
I
them
was
do
gonna
that
say.
natively, yeah.
Make sure that they're not only enjoying the content, but make sure that they're connecting with the people that come in. Like, remind them that the people that are coming in, even if it's one person, once a stream, they're new every time, take the time to have conversations with them. Really get to know them, and it'll give them that fantastic opportunity to grow their streamer vocabulary,
Yeah.
get comfortable with talking about themselves, because people will often be like, how are you? I've been live for 4 hours. How many times do you think I've heard that question? I am wonderful. How are you? No, but seriously, like, it's really wonderful.
We're running out of time. I have to orchestrate
It's
music.
really wonderful to see you today. Tell him good luck and just have fun.
All right, thank you everybody for coming and hanging out with us. I have a few more things to throw, but we're going to go out there because they're going to kick us out.
Thank you, enforcers. We look forward to being enforced.
Thank you very much.